hair's getting long.
It's crazy, man. I can live it. All right. Hello, check one, check two. Hello. This is the Cannabis Coffee Hour with your host, Rob Cantrell. Today, I have an exciting show, a great show. I'm so grateful for my friend, my busy friend, my good comedian partner on the road, my buddy. He has written for the last OG, for the last 3 seasons. He tours with Tracy Morgan. He's also an actor. He was on the Chapelle show. He's been doing stand-up for over 15 years, just a pro, and I love him. Please give it up for Marc Theobald, everybody.
It's quite an intro.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this, Marc. Thank you.
I feel special.
You are special. You deserve it, Marc. You've been working. We were just talking about you. I know you don't do a lot of podcasts because you are a writer. Marc Theobald is a union writer for television. He has for 3 years. He writes scripts. He's also developer of shows. He's also a stand-up comic, and he punches up other comedians' work. Marc is I'm just giving you a little bit of your origin story, Marc, because we met. I don't know, when we met like 2003. Yeah, totally. I met you in New York.
Right.
And it was right after Last Comic Standing, and
that's what I mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe at the Boston, Boston
Totally
Comic?
at the Boston. Yeah.
So.
Maybe somewhere else. I used to bounce around a little bit, but
yeah, you was all over the place. I remember seeing you, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the guy from Last Comics, because Last Comic Standing just came out. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's the guy.
Yeah, man. I thought the same thing too. That was an exciting time. I was going to say you were just on the Chapelle show, and remind me and the viewers again. Which you were in the sketch. I think were you in the Ashy Larry sketch? Were you one of the police, or you were one of the police?
I was one of the police officers for what was it? I guess the name of the sketch was White Music versus Black Music, which was hilarious. It was just how white people react to certain kind of music and black people react to certain kind of music. And it was funny. It was funny. It was really
It was
funny.
A classic, man. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was
John
really good.
Mayer.
And I got to sing with John Mayer, which was who knew?
Oh my God. That is cool.
Yeah, it was. It was very cool.
Marc, thank you so much for being here, because your career is trip like that. You've done some heavy shit. I mean, when I met you, you were working with Patrice on material and stuff for shows. You were always in the mix, and getting on television. I think, which season you were on Last Comic Standing, or you were?
I did the first one that you were on, and I made it to the East Coast finals at Caroline's. At the beginning, nobody knew what that was. With that shit, we was like, "What is this?" And nobody knew. We just like, I don't know what this is. My manager was like, Marc, just go do it. And I was like, all right, I'll go do it. I just did it. And I didn't even, I mean, at that time, I think you had to do a tape of your life. I didn't even do the tape because I really wasn't going to do it. I was like, I'm not doing it. Because we didn't know what this reality show thing was. We just like, it was weird. So they were like, do a tape.
Man, I was on that season. And I didn't know. Yeah. No, they asked me for a background tape. And I was like, nah. I turned them down.
Oh, you did? See, that's what I'm saying. Most comics
turned them down. I was like, nobody, what is this? You want me to do work? You want me to film my life? Not to show this, man. I'm trying to get on TV. Come on, man. Right.
We just didn't know what it was. It was just new, you know what I'm saying? So it was just weird. And I just showed up and did it. And then next thing you know, I saw it was on TV, and you were on, and Rich Voss, and I liked it. It was a funny show.
Thank you, Marc.
It showed a different side of comedy, I thought, anyway.
No, I always say, thank you, Marc. I always say that, and you were on the Chapelle show, which I just remember dying laughing. Like, that was the shit.
That show was hilarious.
That show was, I just remember just being like, I watched it with Al Madrigal. I think I watched it with Al Madrigal like the first time I remember I did a bunch of bong hits, and it was in California, and he put that shit on, and I couldn't stop laughing. I remember I was just dying laughing throughout the whole thing. Everybody, the tone, everything was just funny, and it was a lot of it was, I will say, like the Boston Comedy Club, and it was the New York comedy scene. It was all you guys, you know.
Yeah. The funny thing about the Chapelle show, I never auditioned for that. It was just, they just called me to do it, which I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I was like, all right. I never got a call where I just show up and you just do it. I'm like, I still to this day don't know who greenlit it, or I don't know if it was Dave or it was Neil, or I don't know, one of the two.
Yeah.
But you know, I saw them at the club, so and Neil was around the club at that time, so I'm thinking it's Neil more than Dave, but I don't know. Until this day, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it was either Neil or Dave, and they saw you down at the Boston,
right, and just said, "Hey, get Mark to do it, whatever." So I was like, "Okay."
I think that's so dope because everybody in New York was working. Like all these comics you get on television. I wanted to kind of segue that into The Last OG, which I almost got to be on this last week, and that was like my first big thing. And
that's right. As the barber. As the barber. That's right. Thank you for doing that in our season finale. We appreciate that, man.
Oh man, thank you for having. No, that was the biggest highlight of my career, man. That is.
I didn't even recognize. It's so funny. I did not recognize.
My family loved it.
Your hair was so different. I'm used to seeing your hair out like that. Yeah. And you had to slick back. I've never seen you slick back ever. And I walked right past you like, how you doing? He's like, it's me. I was like, oh.
It was early in the morning. Nobody got it, man.
I was like, dude, I didn't even recognize you, Rob.
Yeah, that was an awesome experience, an awesome day. Dude, I got to walk there. I walked to the set. I studied my lines here, and then I just walked over to the set. And I was so psyched to be there, and I got a trailer, and I had my lines, and I knew them, and I was organized. But they switched them up on us like 3 or 4 times. They switched me, and they hit me in the morning too. So that's when I was already all like, I studied.
We switched it at least 2 or 3 times, and I'm so sorry, Rob. It was so last minute, and everything was switching, and we were just like. And that's what people on the outside, they don't know and they don't realize is that's what goes on sets. A lot of times you're switching lines so frequently that and as an actor, you just got to adjust on the fly. So it's nerve wracking. You're like, I just studied all these lines and now I can't even use them. So it's like, it's annoying. And I understand that coming from the actor's point. And as a writer, I try not to do that, but sometimes you just can't help it. You have to change it. So it's nothing you can do. And for instance, bringing it back to the Chapelle show.
Yeah. For
me and John Mayer, the song I learned to sing with him, we could not get clearance. And I did not find that out to the day of. I'm sitting there going, I'm learning my song because I got to sing. And I'm like, I can't sing. So I got to sing with John Mayer. So I got to learn this song. So all night, I'm going through the song in my head, and then Dave goes, yo, Mark, man, we can't clear this song, so we got to do another song. And I was like, but I know the song. They were like, too bad, we got to get another song. So John Mayer, literally, in the middle of the day, is sitting in a van singing songs to me to teach me songs, and he's serenading me in the van in the middle of Harlem. It's hilarious. I just wish I could see the outside of the van to see John trying to teach me a song. But he taught me the new song that we ended up using for the show. But like I said, things change.
Just paint this to the viewer.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man, Mark, that is crazy. You are in a van in Harlem, and inside with John Mayer, and you're in a police uniform, and he's teaching you songs, right?
Teaching me songs. And the funniest thing, it was like 3 degrees that day. Nobody we was in the middle of Harlem, and I think it was where what's the name of that movie was shot? Oh gosh, that Chris Rock was in Pookie. God dang it. It was in front of that building. But the people did not care.
New Jack City?
Yeah, New Jack City. We were shooting right in front of that building, and the people in Harlem did not care who Dave was, who John Mayer was, because we were like, could you not walk? Oh, get the hell out of my way. It's 3 degrees out here. We like, all right.
Fucking TV show, man.
They did not care. It was like, that's Deja. I don't care who that is. Get out the way. We was like, okay. So
that's New York, man.
That is true New Yorkers right there. They did not care about our set at all.
And that was back in the day. Like 2003 was a little bit of old New York, and that's what I loved about that era and time.
Yeah,
man.
It was
like, yeah, it was a little bit wild. It was still a little bit wild and still a little bit like just New York. Like nobody give a damn. Like it's going on. Everybody's doing their thing.
Right, absolutely.
Do you remember any of the songs that you were trying to learn?
Man, I can't remember. I know we used a rose is a rose is what we ended up with, but that's not what we started out with. We had a different, I can't remember the song, but man, I studied it because I was nervous. I was like, oh, I got to get this song right.
Yeah, you thought all the comedic beats are going to be there? Yeah, you were just like, I got to be funny in this moment. Yeah, that's a hard thing.
I didn't know till I showed up that I'd be singing with John Mayer. So then I got extra nervous. I'm like, it's John Mayer. I'm like, so I'm like, what are we gonna do? Then I had to learn the songs. It was annoying, but
you were with My Body's a Wonderland, John Mayer. You were with superstar John, pop star. Yeah. No, New York was wild like that, man. And I loved coming here and doing sets at the old Boston. Do you miss stand up at all, Mark?
I do, but I mean, I'm still doing it. Like, you know, I write for the show, The Last OG. So we do writing and then I'm on set. So that takes up a lot of my time. So I can't really get on stage like I used to. Yeah. But once we finish, as you know, Tracy, we go on tour and we start touring and that's like an every week thing. So I get back into a rhythm with stand up with that.
Oh yeah. I toured with you for a while. Yeah. I was asking more on a COVID. I should have subtitled that question.
Yeah.
19. Do you miss stand-up?
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Because you can't even do anything. I can't. I mean, this whole staying in the house is, and I've seen a couple people do like Zoom comedy shows, and it just doesn't work because sometimes it freezes, the timing's off. It's just like, I'd rather have a conversation like we're having and just have some fun, and then that's easier. But the stand up on the Zoom, it hasn't been perfected yet, put it that way. So
I've done a couple and it felt like almost stand up. Yeah. And I did it from a chair, but I would just rattle off jokes and I had some notes written and I didn't want to do it. Like right before I did it, I was like, I don't want to do this shit. And then right after I did it. So and somebody paid me. I got good money one time. So I think people are hustling money out of it. But it wasn't ideal.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Cause it's just without the audience and the laughter, it throws your timing off. Because you got timing in your head that goes off the laughter and the look and you get none of that. So it's like I got to adjust to all this. But you know, that's show business, man. You got to make adjustments.
You always got to make adjustments, man.
Always.
I was going to say that you've done some wild stuff in terms of you were LL Cool J. Mark was in a commercial, and it's his Twitter handle. But I mean, it was wild. You were LL Cool J. You got to be 80s LL Cool J. And was it Right Guard? Was it Right Guard? What was it? Old Spice.
I think it Old Spice. Old Spice. Yes. You know it better than me.
Now I'm into deodorant right now. I mean, I get so I put on deodorant for you today, Mark. Before Zoom,
Thank you. Hey, me too. I did too. I was like, I want to be fresh for the interview, even though you can't smell me. I put cologne on. Why am I putting cologne on? But I did. Yeah, but I did a commercial. I played young LL Cool J, which is my only commercial. That's when I used to do commercial auditions, and I stopped doing commercial auditions because I just couldn't. I got a young looking face, and they would put me in with these young kids, but I would sound way older. They'd be like, say the line. I'm like, how y'all doing? They'd be like, wait, how old is this guy? I'm like, I'm older than them. So I actually told my agent, I said, I need to go in for stuff that I'm appropriate for. I had it, like, you know, I'm married, I got a son. So I said, put me in stuff, I'm married and got kids. So they put me on an audition where I had a kid, and I went in, and the person was like, he looks too young. He doesn't have a kid. And I was like, I do have a kid. What are you talking about? So I was in this limbo of commercials. I was like, I just quit commercials after that. I was like, I can't.
Yeah, it's kind of a run and gun, like all those commercials. And even, I was going to say show business is like that, you know, in terms of even shooting the last OG, like they matted my hair down, you know, last minute, you know, it's just like, you just got to make decisions right in the moment, man.
Yeah. They totally changed you, but that was weird. It was fun though. It was fun.
But yeah, that's a dope. Yeah, did you meet LL for that at all?
No, I did. He did his separate than me, and I did my commercial and magazine stuff separate from him. But it was a great shoot, though. I had a great time on that shoot, and I learned a lot. That was a big part. Yeah, it was, and the director had me doing so many things, and most of it ended up on the editing room floor, and I definitely took notes from that. You know, when you're writing and when you're directing, you want to try and get it as many ways as you can, just so you have options to choose from when you're editing. So I always try to, like when we're on the last OG, I try to get it one way, a certain way that we want it, that's maybe written, but also get a different option just in case, so we can have some other things and let the actor or actress try something as well, so we can get a couple different looks. And sometimes you don't have time to do that, but I always like to try and do that if we can.
Dude, especially if you're running a professional budget, like, and you have an editor on bay that's talented to get the shot, you know, and then to give the editor that many looks at what could be funny or tone or how. Right. I mean, a good editor can squeeze, you know, 3 jokes into one thing that you thought was one joke.
Right. Yeah, you know, and they got some really talented editors out there, and shout out to all the editors, man, because they make us look good when we're writing and we're shooting stuff. So, and it's not an easy job, you know what I'm saying? Because it's hard. I mean, we, like for the last OG, and most sitcoms, you're doing 30 pages written, but in actuality, when it comes out to about 22 pages. So you're looking at cutting almost 8 pages of stuff. That could be a whole. You know what I'm saying? 8 pages is a lot of pages, man. That's a lot.
And the episode has to make sense. Right. So it has to make sense. So if you cut some shit out and people are watching like, this doesn't even make sense, guys. It gotta make sense, right? So I mean, I say 30, but I mean, by the time we shoot it, we're probably down to 28, but still at 6 pages. There's a lot of room. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of room, and it's a lot of cuts that you got to make. So you got to make some hard decisions, man. Some stuff got to go out, and you just got to go, we just can't use it. If it doesn't serve the story, then it's got to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's the rule. Yeah. What's the word on the street for the next season? Like, I've been hearing.
We don't know, man. We're waiting, man. We're hopeful. We just did our season finale, which you were in, episode 10.
Yes.
And we're waiting now to hear back, man. So hopefully we're good. So, for season 4, we're hoping we could do that, man, because I'm definitely looking forward to taking that challenge, man, especially what's going on in the world today with the COVID, the social unrest, the racial strife. We got a lot of stuff going on that we could incorporate within the season. So it's going to be a great opportunity for writers.
Yeah, for sure, man. I wanted to address it. I feel embarrassed not bringing it up earlier. Just Black Lives Matter.
Oh yeah.
George Floyd and Mark. I'm listening, as you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to, you know.
Yeah.
What do you?
Okay.
Just so you know, I guess what I was thinking about earlier before having this conversation is just like, I do believe like consciousness is rising. Like, I think Black consciousness is rising. Like,
I think so. I think the movement, the difference of the movement now than the 60s is that more white people are involved, and I think that would give us more numbers, and so people are forced to listen, and hopefully they will listen. You know, because a lot of times people just, as soon as they hear it, they just, I can't deal with it, so I don't want to. They just choose to ignore it, and that's the wrong thing to do.
That's what society has been doing. Yeah, that's what America's been doing.
That doesn't work.
It
That
doesn't
does not work.
Yeah, and just these scars are all back there, and we just got to turn around and just heal up.
You can't ignore it, and
Can't ignore it.
I've had conversations with people, and I've had people go, well, they shouldn't be rioting, and they shouldn't be doing all this other stuff, and it's like, understand, rioting is a last resort, and I think Martin Luther King said that rioting is the language of the unheard. Now, we tried peaceful. Colin Kaepernick tried peaceful, and he said it. I mean, he literally sat there on a knee and said, I'm doing this because of police brutality. They're killing people and not being held accountable. He said this. It's just, and another thing he said, which was so prophetic, was just, he said, a hairdresser has to do more hours of training than a police officer. That's absurd. And their life is in your hands. Why is a hairdresser doing more hours of training than a police officer? That makes no sense.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
The football player. I'm not a sports dude that heavy, but I knew it was all going that. But he said that?
Yeah, he did. He said that years ago.
Wow.
Everybody he got ostracized. And you're against America because you're protesting. And it's like, and that's what America is really good at. They deal with the what instead of the why. Instead of going, why is he feeling this way? Why is they deal with it's the flag. If you're against America, it's like you're avoiding the issue. That's what you're doing. And right now, it's kind of hard to avoid the issue because people are protesting every day. So let's deal with it. Let's see where we go from here. I'm hopeful, but I'm also very weary of it because I've seen this before. So
nobody's been here, and I think it's it could go either way all the time. But it's like, I think it's just like right now everybody's listening, and I love all the different opinions, and I love all the different angles, and all the hard talks are being had. Like, all the hard talks are being had. It's on the internet. I don't like Twitter. I don't like all that shit. But at the same time, I look at it like, these conversations are being had. Like, people are just having to look to, they have to be. It's like Revelations. It's like some type of thing, like all this stuff, like we're all growing, we're all growing. It's
I certainly hope so. And I think that we can learn and just, and stop being, if we just stop being so defensive and just listen, I think we can move. A lot of people are just feeling that, you can't, like a lot of people bringing up issues with defunding the police, and most of the people that's bringing up the issues don't even understand what defunding the police means. It's not abolishing the police, it's allocating the funds, not all to the police, but reallocating them to other things like mental health or social or education. So we don't have cops going into a situation where they're dealing with a mental health situation where somebody who's trained in mental health instead gets called and deals with it. So that way the police is supposed to be doing, is dealing with crime instead of dealing with mental health. You know what I'm saying? So I think conversations have to be had, and people have to understand what they mean. So many people they just go, police, you mean no police? It's all over. It's anarchy. See what I'm saying? It's like, that's not what we're talking about. Slow down.
Yeah. I like it, man. I like it. I like the new ideas that are popping out, and I think they have to be had, and nothing is final on the table, but you got to know what like you just educated on me on exactly what that meant. Like, I do know what it meant, and I was kind of like, I knew it was just an overall rethinking the whole situation.
Yes.
From the root, just from the gut up, just rethink the whole situation.
Whole situation. And this is, and it's happened in Trenton, New Jersey. They defunded their police and they reallocated. And part of when they defunded it, they made the police officers have to engage in the community in which they work. Yeah. Now, I used to be a sales rep before, when I first graduated Hampton University from college. And I asked my manager, how do I, because everything's based on sales. If you get your commission, I'm a commission sales, right? So how do I win this trip to Alaska? I asked my manager, how do I do it? Well, you got to do other things that other sales rep won't do. I was like what? And he was like, why don't you go to the store on a Saturday when nobody else goes to the store, and that'll show the owner that you care. And I was like, okay, so I started doing that, and I won a trip because of that. I did what other sales reps won't do. Now, I did that. I'm a solo sales rep. Now, if you're a police officer and you really invested in the neighborhood that you're working in, go down to your neighborhood and meet the people in the neighborhood. Because I guarantee you that when you come to that neighborhood and you go down there in plain clothes, don't even go in there with an outfit on. Because when you get known in that area, in that neighborhood, they ain't messing with you. They're going to be like, oh, that's Officer Jim that came down here on Saturday in plain clothes that came down to the church. We can't, even if I'm doing wrong, I ain't doing wrong in front of him because I'm embarrassed myself because I know. Understand what I'm saying? You get to know the people that you work for. And I think that we need to, that's the way we got to change policing. And if need be, get an incentive like they had when I was a sales rep. Give them a bonus. Give a bonus to the cops that do that. Just do something to incentivize them to be engaged with the community in which they're working in. That's the problem. Half these people they scared of the community they in, so they shoot first before asking questions. Yeah. It's like, you can't shoot somebody if you met them on Saturday in your plain clothes and you know them. And you're going to be hard pressed to pull that trigger first. You're like, that's Ronnie. I just met him. He got a daughter. I know him. I can't do that.
That's a small town shit. Like I was saying, like, you need to have the people, like, if the cop is from there, if you hire local people that's a part of the community, they got to care about it.
They got to care about and even if they don't care, just get to know them.
Know
different people in your community. Just get down there and know them. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And it's complex, man.
No, it is. It's complex, but I think the complexity is people is just stubborn. The answers are. I think the answer is there. They just don't want to hear them.
Yeah, I think we have all the answers to even sort out America. That's what sucks about the leadership. I'm not trying to be political on this, but things are just coming out like.
Right.
It's like we're in this COVID, and then we're going through the riots and the protest, and it's just like we got the wrong dude up there.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because it's such a galvanizing moment. Like a right dude could really bring America together. Actually, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
It's about America,
Yeah, you got a guy who instead of calming everything down, he's pretty much putting gasoline on the fire. He's like, let me put some gasoline on here. Let's see how this works.
The comment that I stuck with me that I said, oh yeah, that's that cat. He's addicted to chaos. That's the problem with this dude.
Yeah, no, he does. He loves chaos.
He loves the chaos. He loves it. Yeah.
He's a narcissist to the 8th power.
He's a New York narcissist.
He really is.
Yeah, man. But there is a lot of good people out there. That's what I was thinking about today. Is like there are more good people than bad people.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the problem is the good people get drowned out.
Yeah, you're just tired. Life is hard.
It's the bad people. But I think the now are like, you know what? I got to make my voice heard because otherwise they won't know that I'm here. And I think that stands for everybody, whether they be a cop or whoever. Just to make their voice heard. So I think that's changing as well. That culture. I hope so.
And calling out racism, like I mean, I'm not one to do it that heavily, but at the same time, I try not to put up with it. I try to just, ice people out,
Right.
But I think that stuff is getting called out more and more now. Like it's just.
I think it is. It is. And it's interesting times we're living in, Rob. It's very interesting.
But Brooklyn, I mean, you're from here, and that's what I think is. I will say that I just walked up to the park, and there was a Black Lives Matter going on, and they were pumping awesome reggae, dude. They were pumping Bob Marley, big speakers in the front of Prospect Park, and I wasn't even trying to go up. I wasn't even trying to be in the protest. I just broke off, and I went out to the park. And then I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet. Because it was peaceful. No, this was like during the day, it was peaceful. And it was Brooklyn. That's what I was going to say. That I do like that, just the yeah, I just like the Black culture here in Brooklyn is 100% for Black Lives Matter. Like people are
Oh yeah,
out.
yeah. It's really very progressive. Very
Yes,
progressive.
very progressive.
They are not. The thing that has inspired me is like they're not stopping. They're just, it's like every day I'm like, they're not stopping. They keep going. It's like it's been
blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. Yeah, man. And LA was crazy seeing inspiring. Those drone shots of those crowds going all the way down this, that showed the world. That was what was so trippy about it. The world was involved. Like
yes, I got friends hitting me, comedians from England. They're sending me hits about them going out to protest for George Floyd. I was like, man, I'm like, this is, and that's something that I think that I always tell people. I said, look, you gotta, even if you choose to ignore this, you gotta go, something's got to be up, that all these people are feeling the same way and they're on different time zones. How is it they all feel the same? Yeah. Are we all crazy? Are we all, that's the question you gotta ask yourself. You got to be like, how are all these people in New Zealand, Germany, France, England, they all got the same feelings?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
That's the question people got to ask.
It's human. Yeah, it's human, and I feel it, it's just like, I think it's just really human, It's just show, and it's a part of the history of our country, which is a great country. It's just built on slavery. And it just has to be addressed, whether it's reparations or right now.
I think it's got to start with we got to tell the history honestly instead of lying.
Yes.
Stop with the whole, our forefathers were the greatest men in the history.
And if you don't question America,
so it's what are you talking about? It's like, come on, man, they own slaves, so the rules that they were making weren't set for us. They were set for the people that were free. That was it. Yeah. So, let's just be honest about it. I think if we deal with it honestly, I think we can get past it. But I think we don't want to deal with it honestly. So that's the issue.
It's a wild place. Being American and being, I just think there's so many different perspectives in the world. And just like being American is just crazy and cool, but it's just also odd. Yeah, it's just odd because you look at the history of Black America and you see slavery, and then you see, there's also a giant melting pot. That's what, I guess you got to look at the good and the bad. So, I just think we have these problems, but maybe these problems are good in the sense that we're addressing something, about humanity,
Right. Well, I think it can be a good thing if we address it, and we address it honestly and make the adjustments based off that honesty. But I think the problem is, are we going to address it honestly? That's the thing. I'm not sure where we are, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I think it goes up to the leaders, but it has to start with the people.
It's got to start, and
it's got to start with the people, and people on the street are talking about it. Did you like the Dave Chappelle special? Yeah, people are talking about it. We're having a conversation about it. I've known you for 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
We always kind of keep it light. The Mark is my older brother that's kind of got his life together that I look up to. And I check in on because we started comedy together, and he was always had TV, and we got married at the same time, and he has a kid. We all both had kids at the same time. But
that's right.
You've always just been on point, and I've always looked up to you having just your head together in terms of comedies. But we never got too deep. But I appreciate you. We're talking.
Yeah, absolutely. This is fun.
Yeah, man, this is fun. It is the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Did you drink any coffee today? Did you?
I did not. I'm sorry. I don't.
That's all right.
It's so weird.
A lot of people don't.
I don't.
Yeah. What's your go-to?
Oh, wait a minute. I brought my wife some coffee this morning, though.
Oh, nice.
I did. So there you go.
Yeah, but what did you have? Do you have tea? Do you have water?
I drank tea this morning.
I think tea is dope, man. I'm all about. I was watching this. Do you know this term? You gotta check it out. I might send you wabi sabi. Dude, it's Japanese, and it's they were talking about the Shoguns having their tea sets, and they would brag, the Shoguns, who had the dopest tea set.
Oh,
And
really?
they had tea, yeah. Like if you were a badass Shogun, you had a bomb-ass tea set, right? And so wabi-sabi is like this methodology that's kind of like yin and yang, but anything that's kind of old and rickety, but still kind of dope.
Right.
Like a pot that got knocked over and it got sealed together nice, or they had a painting of like all these modern buildings in this one house that's kind of weird and like off center, but it has like, it's a term they opened up. I watched the video. It's a term that Americans don't have. It's just called wabi-sabi. It's just like, if it's kind of, I think it's like, if it's kind of, you know how ratchet is kind of cool? Like, it's just it's just something that you go, that's just fucking wabi-sabi.
Wabi-sabi. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm having some boba tea, so I brought that up.
Wait a minute, because I was weird, because when you asked me to do the podcast, and I was like, oh man, I don't smoke weed, so what am I gonna do?
I wanted you to get some CBD oil and like rub it on your back.
I do use CBD oil though. I do.
Yeah, we talk about that. You do.
That's right. Man, we talked about that.
You're a writer in your 40s, and it's legal.
My back. The CBD oil, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
So there you go. Good to go. Boom.
Huge fan. Huge
fan. You asked me about it a long time ago.
Yes, yeah. I'm big, huge on CBD. I forgot about CBD. Yeah, that's right. I do use that a lot, so that's good.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Stuff. Yeah, and, I was nervous because I was like, I don't smoke weed. I don't really drink coffee at all. So I'm like, what are we gonna talk about?
We do tea. We do boba tea. Sometimes I do green tea. I don't always drink coffee. And I don't always smoke. I had a little bit of herb today, but I don't always smoke. So yeah, I'm not all in, all out. But you do work. I have written down some notes. But you do work for Jordan Peele, and I know he likes to blaze once in a while.
Yeah, season 1 with Jordan Peele, man. He was fantastic. I didn't know Jordan was from New York, which I learned when I was in the room. He's from Manhattan.
Wow.
Upper West Side. So I was just like baffled. But I got to work with him, man. That was
and he's like our age, though.
Yeah, younger. He's younger than me.
Yeah, he's like 37. And
I think he's 40. He's like 40 something now.
Yeah, maybe 40 something now. Yeah, maybe he's I know we're a little bit older.
But, he's fantastic, man. He's really thoughtful and a very thoughtful writer. And it just to watch him work and to see how he thinks, it was interesting.
Dude, that's a great opportunity.
Yeah, man. And I got
he's like one of the best American directors out there. And
dude,
SOG is a great show. You should be very proud of it. I think it's amazing, and I think it's great for the culture. I think it's great for America, and I think people are talking about it and watching it.
Oh yeah, right. I hope so. I hope people continue watching it. And I hope we get a season 4. So I hope we do get that. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I know, he's tied up to it. Jordan Peele and writing for television. Oh, I was going to talk about cannabis. What do you think? I mean, cannabis. Do you think cannabis should be legal?
Yeah, I think it's natural. So I'm like, why shouldn't I think it should be legal? Yeah, I'm for it being legal. I'm like, It's natural. It's a plant. That's from the earth. That's from God. Let it happen. What's the problem with cannabis?
Tomatoes are good for you.
Yeah, and it's like I don't see everybody I've seen that smoke. They're pretty harmless. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't see the problem with that. And we can get a lot of revenue off of it. A lot of
revenue right now.
Yeah, like come on, let's do it, man.
Yeah. I think New York will. I think this COVID stuff, that's why I'm kind of leaning into this podcast, but I always thought it should be legal.
Right,
I've always liked it and enjoyed it. So I made it a part of my podcast. So I appreciate you being on the show, Mark, man.
I appreciate it too, man. I appreciate being it and doing it, man, especially since I'm not a big time weed person. But when I'm in LA, where I was staying during one of the seasons in West Hollywood, they opened up a dispensary. And it was like it was just crazy how that place, it went from being, I forgot what it was prior to that, but while I was there, they changed it to a and just the amount of people that just coming, they were like, dude, it's like, it was like 7-Eleven on crack. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But it was a popular spot, man, very popular.
Yeah, they're all over California, man. I got to go out there. I can't wait to go out to California again because it does feel like legal. Like even the people I know that just live there, they're like,
it's weird though. Is
you
it
can
legal?
smell it. What's that?
Is it in LA? Because I feel like
recreational,
it's legal, but they're not totally on board with it yet.
Yeah, maybe not.
Am I right?
Maybe not 100. I don't think. Yeah, I think it's pretty much. I mean, it's pretty. I think if you have a California state license, it's pretty much
right. Yeah, because I just feel like everybody I talked to was like, yeah, it's legal, but they can pull the rug from under us and they just take our money if they want. And I was like, really? I thought it was legal, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't do, so I don't know. But
yeah, that's true. Mark does not smoke.
I don't smoke, but it's very popular. That's all I know.
What about cigars? Do you like cigars, Mark? You look like
no, I don't like cigars either.
Yeah, it's not good. Not for the COVID either.
Yeah, I know. I never liked cigars either. I was like, nah, I never did.
Yeah, I never did. I mean, I had some. And did you ever smoke cigarettes?
Nah,
no,
never did.
Yeah, they're gnarly.
Did. I always wanted to try the gummy bears though. But somebody told me the gummy bears is like ridiculous. My friend Tracy Ashley, she was like, "Yeah, don't do the gummy bears because you don't know how high you're gonna get off of it." I was like, "Okay, I'm not doing the gummy bears."
I mean, if you got like 2 milligrams, you'd be safe. If you got 2 milligrams, or they got the CBD gummies. That's what, dude. The other thing is Oprah's going in with like Sanjay Gupta to come out with CBD gummies that are FDA approved. That was the last thing I heard. Yeah.
Now that's going to be great. Now CBD. If I take it internally, is that helping my back and my muscles as well?
Yeah, it's anti-inflammatory. It's just like I think turmeric's the same thing. I think there's a lot, but it's a really good one.
Okay. I would definitely try that because I like it on my back anyway. So just the cream, I still got that now. So I'm like, I use.
Yeah, I think it's for the earth, man. I think it's good for the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I would try the gummy bears. I've always wanted to try it.
Have you talked to Tracy at all?
Tracy
Morgan. We both work with him. He's been texting.
Yeah. I talked to him. He's doing good. He's in this quarantine, man. And
everybody's in their quarantine.
He's itching to get out and tell jokes, and just like everybody else, and just wants to work. And just being in the house for 2 months, it drives you crazy. It's just like,
dude, my kids, my wife and kid are so sick of me. They're out right now.
Yeah, it's like
they are so sick. My kid talks back. My wife, everybody's just like.
Yeah, me and my wife were like, well, we got to get out this house. We got to go somewhere. Just even if we just walk somewhere, just something. We got to do something. Sometimes we just go for a drive nowhere. We just drive around. Like, let's just drive or something because you just go crazy in the house, man. It's only so much TV you can watch before you go, okay, that's enough. I can't. Enough. Even reading books, you just go, I can't. I got to get out. I got to get some air. Yeah. Luckily, I have a dog, so I walk my dog twice a day. So I always get outside, but that's not even enough. I need to see people. I need to do something. It's like, we're comics. We're used to performing. So it's like, it's frustrating.
I know. But part of me is like, for me, I'm liking the time off because I've just been scrapping in these streets for too long.
Right. Yeah,
so my body's at rest,
Right.
It's like, and I'm kind of getting my head back together. But right now I'm starting to feel like, I'm just starting to get like, if I don't get on stage, I could be really rusty. Like,
I
need to get on stage right now.
They
I did book something. I'm headlining the Arlington Draft House at the end of July.
Oh wow! Oh nice.
That's pretty safe.
We've been that before. That's a nice spot. I like that.
It's a nice spot. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
I've been playing there for years and years.
It looks like a movie theater, right? Is that the one that looks like? Yeah.
It's like a movie theater.
Remember that spot? Yeah, it's a good spot.
I'm going to do that in July. Yeah, July 31st.
You're doing outside shows. Have you seen the outside shows?
I know. I've seen them on Instagram, Michael Che and those guys.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, okay. Derek Gaines and Michael Che was I saw last night, I think. And,
I know. Derek Gaines is on the #1 movie right now.
Yeah. Derek is big time, man. He's on our show too, so we just lucky to get on the last
OG. Yeah, he was one of the leads the first 2 seasons and popped up. He was in the season finale. Yeah, and I love him in your episode that you wrote. All right, Mark. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate
thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I had a great time, man. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Marc Theobald. Thanks for being on, man. You're dope.
All right, man.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Puff the weed, chill.
And I'll talk to you later, bro.
I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Okay.